I feel like I'm getting hammered.
Last season, Caitlin Clark endured cheap shots, constant hacking, and defenders trying to bully her. But that era is over. The Indiana Fever have built a tough, fearless squad featuring 3 enforcers who won't tolerate any nonsense. Clark is protected now. Defenders better think twice before trying that again.
So the Indiana Fever have got their enforcer. They have got their enforcer for Caitlin Clark. And I'm not gonna lie, like, when it comes to Caitlin Clark and their enforcer, last year everyone was talking about them needing an enforcer.
Natasha Howard, Sophie Cunningham, and DeWanna Bonner bring toughness and grit to the Indiana Fever. If Clark's critics think they can keep roughing her up, they're in for a shock. The message is simple. Anyone who comes for Clark will have to go through them first. This era of protection begins now.
The closest thing they had was Erica Wheeler. That was the closest thing they had for someone to defend Caitlin Clark, was Erica freaking Wheeler. Maybe Tammy, but Caitlin Clark was getting hit a lot. She was getting hit a lot early and they needed their Charles Oakley.
This move goes beyond simply enhancing the roster. It's a powerful declaration. The Fever are not merely aiming to compete, they're gearing up to dominate. With the introduction of these new players, they've assembled a team capable of playing at a fast pace, exhibiting toughness, and, crucially, safeguarding their star player. Rivals should certainly take heed. Clark's bullies have officially been put on alert. So, how will these 3 game changers elevate the Fever into one of the most formidable teams in the WNBA? Let's analyze the implications.
Sometimes you need one of those players on your team. You need one of those enforcers. Every good player, by the way. Every good player, every good team that is a super duper star. Most of the time have enforcer type players.
Picture this. Caitlin Clark, the most thrilling rookie to enter the WNBA in years, steps onto the court for her debut season. The atmosphere is charged, fans eagerly anticipating a mesmerizing performance. However, instead of a warm introduction, she encounters hard fouls, excessive contact, and a level of physicality that almost feels like deliberate targeting. What exactly is going on in this intense and challenging welcome to the league?
That's all I see. They try so long to get respect for women's basketball, and then they treat it like a junior high school girl's locker room. Junior high school girl antics on the court.
This wasn't just typical rookie treatment. Clark was facing an extraordinary level of aggression that transcended competition. She was consistently subjected to cheap shots, body checks, and fouls that had no place in the sport. At times, it felt like she was entering a wrestling ring rather than a basketball court. What's even more alarming is that Clark wasn't simply another rookie acclimating to physical play. She was being targeted. The statistics tell a telling story. An astonishing 177% of all flagrant fouls in the WNBA last season were directed at her. This isn't just about tough defense. It's a stark indication that other players intentionally sought to rough her up during games.
Now, what little girl wants to grow up and play in a league where you're targeted like that? How do you sit here and profess and demand that everyone take women's sports seriously when you can't even take it seriously enough to not act like a junior high queen on the court? It's stupid. That's so dumb. It looks like a soap opera.
The Chicago Sky led the way in targeting Clark, with an astounding 80% of flagrant fouls against her coming from that single team. This isn't just coincidence. It's a clear statement of intent. They weren't merely attempting to defend against her. They were sending a message. But what motivated this aggression? Was it a strategy of intimidation, frustration toward her rising star, or a traditional tactic to disrupt her game? Regardless, it was evident that Clark's presence made some players uneasy. One of the most brutal incidents involved Angel Ray. Picture Clark driving toward the basket, completely focused, when suddenly Ray knocked her to the floor. The arena went silent, and fans anxiously awaited her recovery. The hit was so severe that commentators debated whether it had crossed the line. Yet, true to her tenacious character, Clark got back up, brushed herself off, and carried on as if nothing had happened.
I think we went up really strong a lot of times and we didn't get a lot of calls. And going back and looking at the film, I've seen a lot of calls that weren't made. I guess some people got a special way.
What sets Clark apart is her unwavering composure under pressure. While others debated the severity of the hits against her, she maintained her focus. After enduring a blatant, cheap shot from Chennedy Carter, Clark simply stated, "That's not a basketball play," showing remarkable mental toughness without complaints or retaliation, characteristics of a true legend.
And Clark. I mean, that's clearly a foul, which was called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary? Chennedy Carter.
While Clark demonstrated her resilience in facing tough hits, the Fever front office recognized they couldn't allow her to play another season unprotected. They made significant moves to bring in formidable enforcers, ensuring that no one would bully Clark again. Who are these enforcers, and how will they transform the entire dynamic of the Indiana Fever? Let's explore.
The signing of Natasha Howard represents a massive step forward for the Indiana Fever and their quest for a championship. In Howard, the Fever gain a three-time WNBA champion, a Defensive Player of the Year, an All-Star, and a veteran with more than 300 games played.
Natasha Howard isn't just another player joining the Indiana Fever. She's the enforcer the team has long needed. From the moment she entered the locker room, it was evident that Caitlin Clark would no longer be an easy target. As a three-time WNBA champion and former Defensive Player of the Year, Howard embodies the toughness that can redefine a team's identity. She isn't interested in gimmicks, but is committed to ensuring that the era of Clark being bullied on the court comes to an end. With Howard on board, the Fever's dynamics are set to transform significantly.
But all of that, and we haven't yet touched upon what Howard does best: defend. Howard was named Defensive Player of the Year in 2019 and has finished in the top 10 of the Defensive Player of the Year voting 3 times in her career. Howard has averaged at least 1 block and 1 steal per game in each of her last 7 seasons. And that versatility is really what makes her a weapon on defense.
Last season, Clark endured relentless physicality from defenders who believed they could intimidate her without repercussions. However, with Howard now on the team, those defenders will think twice before resorting to such tactics. Howard's mere presence shifts the balance of power, as her proximity to Clark commands immediate respect. But Howard's impact goes beyond enforcement. She's a game-changer on both ends of the court. Last season, she averaged an impressive 17.6 points, 6.7 rebounds, and nearly 3 assists per game, elite production by any standard. Additionally, her ability to stretch the floor with her three-point shooting will create more opportunities for Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aaliyah Boston to thrive offensively.
Last season, with a minimum of 25 games played, Natasha Howard was one of just 13 players to average 18 points per game. She was one of 16 players to average 7 rebounds per game. And the list of players to average both 18 and 7 last year: short and elite. Asia Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Nafisa Collier, Brittany Griner, and yes, Natasha Howard.
Howard truly excels on the defensive end, which is reflected in her being named Defensive Player of the Year in 2019. She poses a significant challenge for opponents attempting to score in the paint, thanks to her length, physicality, and aggressive style that disrupts anyone who dares to challenge her. Additionally, she has a proven track record of stepping up to protect her teammates when it matters most. Perhaps one of the most significant benefits of Howard's arrival is her playoff experience. The Fever is a young team filled with potential, but advancing deep into the playoffs requires the composure and leadership that only seasoned veterans can offer. With over 50 postseason games under her belt, Howard's experience is invaluable. She knows what it takes to win and is bringing that mindset to Indiana.
But that wingspan and 6'2" height allows her to be disruptive defensively around the rim on opposing bigs too. In fact, Howard will enter the 2025 season 25th all-time in blocks in WNBA history.
Howard shares the same enthusiasm as Fever fans, expressing, "I'm thrilled to return to Indiana and infuse my experience and toughness into the team. I aim to help Caitlin and the Fever compete at the highest level." This move transcends merely protecting Clark. It's about uplifting her. With a champion's mindset, Howard is set to demonstrate to Clark and the Fever how to dominate. With her presence, Indiana isn't just looking to rebound. They're gearing up to seize control.
Caitlin Clark was getting hit a lot. She was getting hit a lot early, and they needed their Charles Oakley. You've got that in Sophie Cunningham.
Sophie Cunningham is making her way to Indiana, adding an exciting dynamic to the WNBA. If Caitlin Clark needed a teammate to manage tough opponents while sinking three-pointers, Cunningham is the perfect fit. The Fever aimed for both skill and grit this offseason, and they've undoubtedly found it in her.
There are so many videos of Sophie Cunningham just starting brawls.
Some may recall that Sophie Cunningham was initially expected to entice Caitlin Clark to Phoenix, but Clark had different intentions. Rather than heading west, she strategically ensured Cunningham joined her team. This signing was deliberate. The Fever sought energy, attitude, and unwavering toughness, and Cunningham embodies all of these qualities.
Sophie Cunningham, in general, is just wild. Wild is the best word I can use to describe Sophie Cunningham. And, it's carnage. It's carnage a lot of the time when Sophie Cunningham gets involved with anything. The amount of fights that Sophie Cunningham has been involved in is mental.
Let's explore why Cunningham is an ideal addition for Indiana. Firstly, her shooting ability is outstanding. She's not just tough, but also an exceptional marksman from beyond the arc, boasting a 37.8% shooting percentage from deep last season. With Clark orchestrating the offense, expect that percentage to rise. Defenses will struggle to contain Clark, Mitchell, and Cunningham when she's ready to shoot from three.
She hits a three, Maisha Hines-Allen fouls her, and then tries to step over, and then Sophie Cunningham grabs her leg. Nobody's going near Maisha Hines-Allen, but no, Sophie Cunningham will start the fight. The refs are trying to break it up. None of the Mercury players are going to go near Maisha Hines-Allen. They're scared. She's scared of bejesus out of them. Maisha Hines-Allen is one of the toughest players in this league. Sophie Cunningham going head to head straight with her.
Cunningham offers much more than just shooting. She brings a fierce edge and competitive spirit. She's the kind of player who thrives on contact, speaks her mind, and proves her worth on the court. Plus, being a Taekwondo black belt adds to her tough demeanor. Defenders considering getting overly physical with Clark may want to reconsider their approach.
Like Sophie Cunningham, there are so many things where it's like, part of it her fault, part of it not her fault, but she will not back down. She will not back down under any circumstances from anything. And that is what the Indiana Fever need. If somebody hits Caitlin Clark, if somebody does what Victoria Vivians did to Caitlin Clark, it's not going to be Caitlin Clark that's getting involved to be teed up. Sophie Cunningham's in there. You take the technical foul. You take it.
Let's analyze how Cunningham's addition transforms the Fever's lineup. She enters as a versatile wing capable of shooting, defending, and offering invaluable veteran leadership. Last season, she averaged 8.4 points, 3.9 rebounds, and 2.0 assists per game. Not superstar stats, but precisely what Indiana required. She doesn't need the ball often, but when she does receive it, she can make defenses pay.
Like Sophie Cunningham is guarding the screen here, and she just takes a hard hit, nothing major. So she's down, and then after taking a hard hit, just gets back up and laughs.
More importantly, Cunningham excels in high-pressure situations. She's tough, seasoned, and unafraid of challenges, whether it's sinking a crucial three-pointer, defending against a rival guard, or stepping up during intense moments. She's consistently prepared for any scenario on the court.
She takes the hard hit and goes down, obviously, gets back up and just laughs. That's a legitimate thing where you're like, okay, yeah, this is a person who is just, there is a toughness there with Sophie Cunningham And like, she's not scared.
Cunningham's addition ensures that defenses can't focus solely on Clark and Boston. If opponents attempt to double-team Clark, Cunningham will be positioned on the perimeter, poised to capitalize. Her floor-stretching capability will significantly enhance the Fever's offense, creating more scoring opportunities and making them even more formidable.
So yeah, like, a solid signing for what she does on the floor. But like, be protecting Caitlin Clark type thing.
The crucial question remains, how will Cunningham's tenacious, hard-nosed approach blend with Clark's finesse? Will she serve as the enforcer Indiana needs to safeguard their superstar, or could it lead to some heated moments? One thing is certain, the Fever have just become much tougher, and the rest of the WNBA should pay attention.
She's just a smart player. You already see what she's done in her rookie season, and I think she gets the ball to people in the right positions to help them be successful, so that's huge. And I'm hoping that I can give her a little bit more leadership and knowledge for her to understand this league a little bit better. And like I said, when playoffs hit, she'll be...
DeWanna Bonner isn't merely joining the Indiana Fever to occupy a roster slot. She is determined to transform the team's culture, infusing it with championship-level experience and guiding this young squad to become a formidable contender. Bonner has already made it evident that the Fever are not in a rebuilding phase. They are focused on winning now. With multiple WNBA championships, all-star selections, and a reputation as one of the league's most versatile forwards, she brings invaluable experience, leadership, and a dominating mindset. Imagine Bonner stepping onto the court with her new teammates, Aaliyah Boston fortifying the paint, Caitlin Clark directing the offense, Kelsey Mitchell sinking shots, and Sophie Cunningham bringing that fiery spirit. Now, combine Bonner's elite defense, clutch scoring ability, and exceptional skill in stretching the floor. This is more than a minor enhancement. It represents a total transformation. Bonner's arrival elevates Indiana from an exciting, youthful team to a serious championship contender that demands respect.
What excites you the most about this team that you're going to be joining?
I mean, they have dynamic pieces in CC and Kelsey Mitchell and AB, Lexi Hall. I mean, they have a great core, so why not just add to that and try to take us to the next level in the playoffs. They were in first round, and I played against them in the first round, and the way they came back the second game, it just makes you excited to, okay, I want to be a part of that. They didn't lay down and quit. They came back and actually try to beat us really, that next.
What truly distinguishes DeWanna Bonner is not just her impressive skill set, but her deep commitment to her teammates. She isn't simply signing a contract and going through the motions. She is dedicated to nurturing the growth of players like Clark, Boston, and Mitchell. Already, she has been studying their tendencies, analyzing film, and strategizing ways to enhance their strengths. This underscores the difference between a veteran finishing out their career and a leader eager to make a meaningful impact. The Fever had all the necessary components. They were just lacking that crucial veteran presence and toughness to unify the team. Bonner could very well be the missing ingredient that elevates this squad into a true powerhouse.
Like I said, hopefully I can make her job a little easier and she can make mine a little easier. But I think she's a great person, and we, been kind of connecting here. We had a great workout this morning, and it was fun. She's a fun kid.
Then there's the connection between DeWanna Bonner and Caitlin Clark. Bonner has teamed up with some of the greatest guards in WNBA history, but she sees something special in Clark. It's not just her incredible shooting range or her knack for making impossible passes, it's her relentless competitive spirit. Clark plays with an edge and a chip on her shoulder, and Bonner recognizes that. She knows how to elevate elite players, and now she's stepping in to mentor Clark on her journey towards superstardom.
Kind of went on this crazy run, and they were the most well-gelled team at that time. They went from the bottom straight, and they just kept trending, and it was like one of those teams you're like, man, you don't want to really see them in the playoffs. So we got the matchup, and I think our experience helped us very well. But that second game, they came out, and it was like, they just kind of went on this trajectory that was just like on the rise, and it was literally Fever on the rise during right after All-Star. So that's exciting. That's exciting for me to see, and that kind of helped me with my...
Reflecting on last season, the Fever consistently approached success, showing flashes of their undeniable potential. They had games where they seemed unstoppable, but what they truly needed was experience. Someone who understands how to win in the postseason, close out tight games, and lead under pressure. That's precisely what DeWanna Bonner offers. She's not just eager to play alongside Caitlin Clark, she's committed to making her even better, providing the leadership and guidance crucial for the team's success when it matters most.
That experience to a young, maturing team, what can you provide?
I'm hoping that I can provide a little bit of leadership, but I feel like they're a team that last year helped them a lot and understand the dynamics of playoffs. It's a whole different ball game when playoffs come, and I feel like they're a young team, but they're a good team, and hopefully I can just provide the knowledge and explain playoffs to them a little bit better so we can be better prepared and don't get punched in the face the first game. And it's hard to come back when you do that the first game. It's hard to come back and try to win 2 straight against a veteran team. So I think they got...
So, what does DeWanna Bonner's arrival truly signify for Indiana? In one word, everything. For a team still figuring out how to win, her playoff experience and championship mindset could be the crucial piece they've been missing. Having faced intense playoff battles and performed under pressure, Bonner is now bringing that wealth of experience to a rising team. This isn't merely a veteran addition. It's a bold statement that the Fever are no longer waiting for the future. The future is now. With Bonner joining a roster already brimming with young talent, including Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell, this isn't just an entertaining team. It's a squad with the potential to go all the way. The only question left is, are you ready for the Indiana Fever show? It's coming in hot.
Your current team has made some interesting moves the last few days. How do you feel about what your roster suddenly looks like?
I'm excited. Obviously, we made some great moves. I think, Kelly and Amber and the whole, Fever organization are, they're helping us win now. And I think that's really important. I think they're putting really good pieces together that are gonna, complement each other really, really well.
The Indiana Fever just executed the ultimate power move, sending shockwaves through the entire WNBA. In a stunning turnaround, they've transitioned from a rebuilding team to championship contenders overnight. The era of Caitlin Clark being pushed around is over. The bullies who thought they could deliver cheap shots are about to face a serious wake-up call. With tough players like Natasha Howard, Sophie Cunningham, and DeWanna Bonner bringing their experience and grit, the Fever now boast a perfect blend of skill and tenacity. Clark has a formidable support system, and this team isn't merely aiming to compete. They're set on dominating. The message is clear. Indiana isn't here to play nice. They're here to take over. Are you excited? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. More videos are on screen now.